now looking at the consideration affecting pricing decisions internally and externally. Companies often position their products on price and then tailor other marketing mix decisions to prices they want to charge. So here the price becomes the crucial product positioning factor that defines the product's market, competition, and design. So many companies support such price positioning strategies with the technique called target costing. The target costing, which actually reverses the usual process of first designing a new product, determining its cost, and then asking, can you sell it for that? So it's starting from the ideal selling price based on consumer value, considers that, and then they consider the target cost. So top management set the price objectives and policies, and often approves the prices proposed by lower level management or salespeople. For example, airline industry or steel, railroad, and oil companies, aerospace companies, pricing is a key factor. So companies often have pricing department for such industry to set the best prices or help others to set them prices. This department report to the marketing department or top management. Um, Others who have an influence on pricing include sales managers, production managers, finance managers, and accountants. They can all together make a team and then periodically review the pricing information and set up the pricing strategy for particular this industry. As you already studied that good pricing starts with an understanding of how customers' perception of value affect the prices they're willing to pay. Um, Both consumers and industry buyers balance the price of product or service against the benefits of owning it. Now, then, I'd like to take a look at the deeper look at the price-demand relationship and how it varies for different types of market. We then discuss the method for analyzing the price-demand relationship. So here that if you look at this, how the internet has changed pricing competition in your view. What are the pure competition market? Pure competition market is the market that consists of many buyers and sellers and trading a uniform commodity, such as wheat, copper, financial security. No single buyer, no single seller has much effect on the going market price. Now what will happen? If you cannot have influence on the pricing decision, like wheat market, middle market, then sellers in this market do not spend much time on marketing strategy. Secondly, monopolistic competition. Under the monopolistic competition, the market consists of many buyers and sellers who trade over a range of prices because sellers can differentiate their offers to buyers. How about the oligopolistic competition? This market consists of only a few large sellers, for example, only 4 companies, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile. And here in Korea, SK Telecom, LG U+, KT. Those Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint and T-Mobile control more than 90% of U.S. wireless service provider market, and each seller is they are responsive to competitors' pricing strategy and the marketing moves. Lastly, the pure monopoly. The market is dominated by one seller. For example, the government monopoly, like postal service, or private regulated monopoly, or power company, or a private unregulated monopoly, De Beers and Diamonds. And in the cases, pricing is handled differently in each cases. So let's consider the price-demand relationship in general. Each price the company might charge will lead to a different level of demand. And this relationship between the price charged and the resulting demand level is called as demand curve. In figure 10.6 shows. The demand curve shows the number of units the market will buy in a given time period at a different prices level that might be charged. In the normal case, demand and price are inversely related. What does that mean? That is the higher price. If you charge the higher price, the demand will become lower, the lower the demand. So higher price, the higher the price, the lower the demand. That's the inverse relationship. So the company would sell less if it is raised its price from P1 to P2, In short, consumers with limited budget probably will buy less of something if its price is too high. So that's also related to the price elasticity of demand. 가격 탄력성, right? Marketers need to know price elasticity. What does that mean? Price elasticity means that how responsive demand will be to a change. It's composed of two things, like percent change in quantity demand divided by percent change in price. You see that quantity demanded per period is influenced by price. If demand is elastic rather than inelastic, sellers will consider lowering their prices. Why? A lower price will produce more total revenue when the demand is elastic. However, this practice makes sense as long as the extra cost of producing and selling more do not exceed the extra revenue, right? If you produce more, you can generate extra revenue, although extra cost of producing is less than that. Then you will continue to do it. At the same time, most companies want to avoid pricing that turns their products into commodities in some consumers' eyes. So here the demand curve shows its price the company might charge will lead to a different level of demand. That's the demand curve, right? And this figure shows the relationship, inverse shape. If you charge the price at the P1 to P2, then quantity demanded per period is decreased from Q1 to Q2, right? So its demand decreased, demand shrinks. So understanding your brand's price demand curve is crucial to good pricing decisions. Most companies try to measure their demand curves by estimating demand at different prices. So price elasticity refers to the measure of the sensitivity of demand to changes in price, in other words. So if demand hardly changes with a small changes in price, we say demand is inelastic. If the demand changes greatly, we say the demand is elastic. Okay, here in this lecture, I am examining several perspectives. First of all, I have mentioned the pricing strategy, and we are now looking at the economic perspective, how economists perceive this relationship between the demand and price. This is the basic perspective of economics. From now on, let me explain the behavioral economics perspective, somewhat similar to consumer psychologist's view. As I said, price elasticity refers to the measure of the sensitivity of demand to change in price. It just shows that how is the consumer's demand sensitivity to a change in price. So basically, it's an inverse relationship. 역외관계죠. So normally, demand and price are inverse related. So higher price means lower demand. However, in a marketing perspective, there might be the prestige good, luxurious products. In such cases, higher price can equal higher demand. Why? It's not typical case. It's not explained by the price elasticity or demand and price curve that we just examined. Why is different? Because consumers, in this case, perceive higher prices as higher quality. In consumer behavior, we call this phenomenon as surrogate indicator, 대리지표. Surrogate indicator, 대리지표. So they connote higher price as higher quality. So the luxurious good, the demand does not follow the price, not always. There's another cases. The company's objectives. Based on the company's objectives, you can set up the different pricing strategy. Let's say company's bringing out a new product. They face the challenge of setting prices for the first time. What you can do is that you can choose between the two product strategy. One is called as market skimming pricing. The other one is called as market penetration pricing. Market skimming pricing or price skimming means that you set a higher price for a new product to skim the maximum revenues layer by layer from the segments willing to pay the higher price. Then the company makes fewer but more profitable sales. This strategy will work under a certain condition. First, the product's quality and image must support its higher price, and enough buyers must want the product at that price. Second, the cost of producing a smaller volume cannot be so high that they cancel the advantage of charging more. Finally, competitors should not be able to enter the market easily and undercut the higher price. So you can say that lots of demand exists at that level, and your quality and image support that higher price, and then competitor is not easily to enter this market and charging the cutting cheaper price for your product category. In the case, market skimming pricing is workable. Number two, market penetration pricing strategy, which refers to setting a low price for a new product in order to attract a large number of buyers and a large market share. The high sales volume results in falling cost, allowing companies to cut their prices even further. But the several conditions must be met for this low price strategy to work as well. First, the market must be highly price sensitive so that a low price produces more market growth. If the demand is not followed by the price cutting, why on earth you need to cut the price? So think about that. Second, production and distribution cost must decrease as sales volume increases. Yeah, as you produce more, your cost of production should be decreased. Otherwise, you cannot get utilized of this market penetration pricing, right? Finally, the low price must help keep out the competition, and the penetration price must maintain its low price positioning. Otherwise, the price advantage may be only temporarily. Let me explain the psychological pricing. Since we have already 12 minutes past, I'd like to close this section and create a newer video clip. So look at the first video clips for the psychological pricing that will be more relevant to marketing context.